9:30 a.m.
Nothing like a smooth transition into the midday. Be sure to tune to The Shift Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. with Joinae Gibson on Glory 93.9 FM. The freshest wave of glory to hit the Bahamas.
Hey, it's an amazing day here at Glory 93.9 FM. It's 12:30, so you know exactly what that means. You're tuned in and, of course, always locked and loaded on The Shift with yours truly. Whether you are listening in your car, maybe at your desk, maybe I want to say scrolling through TikTok or Facebook, YouTube, I want to say thank you for joining this conversation today. And I assure you that this conversation is for you. And you know why? Because for the next hour, I need you to lock in. I need you to get your notepad. I need you to call your friend. I need you to text a friend. I need you to tell everybody, Lottie, Dottie, and everybody that the shift is on and we have an amazing topic today. But before we move any further, I want to say this to you, and I'm going to say it with my chest. One, don't mind the noise. Don't mind the noise. I'll say it again. Don't mind the noise, because everybody making noise isn't necessarily in the game. And I'll explain that to you in a few. To mind something means to give it your attention, to give it your concern, to give it your consideration. So when I say to you, don't mind the noise, what I'm saying to you is don't give unnecessary attention to what doesn't deserve your attention. And I want you to take, for instance, in the game of basketball, there are players who are on the court scoring points. There are some players who have been benched, and of course there are those who are on the sidelines. And I want you to think about this. There's always going to be people watching the game who aren't participating in the game. And sometimes the people outside and not shooting any points and not making any impact are the loudest ones in the room. The audience can have their opinions about the players, but they do not have the responsibility of making the play. What am I saying? Everyone who has access to you, everyone who has a voice, quote unquote, everyone who has an opinion isn't necessarily a part of the game or the quote unquote vision that God has given you. For those on Facebook, we have some technical difficulty with the cameras, but of course, you can still hear me, all those on Glory FM. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be live on TikTok in a few. But like I was saying, they have opinions about the players. They have opinions about the coaches. They have opinions about the uniform. And I want to remind you that, volume doesn't make it valid. Numbers don't make it valid. Just how loud they are doesn't make it valid. Just because someone is loud or someone seems to have more or more support, it doesn't mean that it's right. Sometimes the enemy of our focus isn't really quote unquote opposition, It's really distraction. You cannot play, and I want you to think, I'm using basketball as an example, but you cannot play basketball effectively, and I'm no expert, but I'm sure you cannot make a shot, shoot a three-pointer. You cannot go half court. You cannot dunk while you're still looking at the audience or listening to the crowd. I watched some basketball games where, the team is in their home state. So you can imagine Golden State in on their turf, and playing against, I don't know, the Miami Heat. You think Golden State will let them? No, they're going to make noise. They're going to boo. But will that stop your skill from showing up? Will that stop your shooting and getting the points? In the same way, will you allow people and their opinions? Hey, good afternoon, Monique. Will you allow people and their opinions and what they believe about you or what they want to say about you or the things that they have projected onto you, will you allow that to affect your walk with God? What shall separate us from the love of Christ? Are we going to allow volume, criticism, misunderstandings, offenses to cause us to be separated from the love of God? Or separated from God, period? Sometimes the enemy of your focus isn't opposition. It's really just distraction. You cannot play the game effectively if you're constantly looking and responding to the people on the sidelines. And this is what the foundation, more so, of today's topic is about. Knowing the difference between being surrounded and being supported, because everyone around you isn't necessarily for you, and everybody making noise isn't necessarily a part of what God is doing in your life. I'll say it like this: everybody has a seat in the arena, but everyone doesn't have a role in the game. I could shout from the stands all I want that the ref made a bad call, but am I the ref? I can shout from my TV, in my TV room, shout at the TV screen and say, oh, shoot the ball as much as I could from the top of my lungs. But that would still have no effect on the person who's in the game. Why are we allowing people to do that to us? Why are you allowing that to happen? And I want you to apply this to any area of your life. Think about that area that you are allowing someone who's on the sidelines, someone who's watching from the comfort of their spot, to dictate to you when you should shoot or not. Let's move right into today's topic. Shifters, it's time to go. Be sure to like and share this live broadcast. We're locked in every weekday. That is Monday through Friday, 12:30, right here on your favorite station with your favorite person. And man, listen, I'm so excited, and we've been having a great time. Oh God, in the lout here on the shift. So you know that this is an interactive experience. I already see Monica already in the comment section say, Jesus, what is this? Mo, we are on our way. The difference between surrounded and supported. Let's go. The call and text lines, they're open in the caption on your screen and in the comment section. The call line is 242-827-2543. And of course, the text line is 242-817-2544. Now we are officially live on TikTok, and for those who are on TikTok, be sure to use the comment section. Be sure to let me know that you are here. Give a nice little wave, let me know, so we can say hey to all of the shifters. Man, listen, I have to pause and say thank you so much to the shifter community. Every Monday through Friday, and even sometimes on the weekend, you guys are reaching out. You are, talking about topics. You are, just fully engaged and fully invested in this vision, and I am eternally grateful. Hey Vano, how you doing? I hope you're having a great day. Monique said, man, this topic hotter than the temperature out there, and they're hot. Could we talk about the heat? You see why we can't go to hell? But anyway, that's for another day. But woman of God, I with you with that. I with you, right? So shifters, I am eternally grateful. Every day, I can't thank you enough, and I promise you I do not take it lightly. So let's move into today's topic, and I started it a few moments ago, but today's topic, if you're just tuned in via Glory FM, maybe on TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube, I want to let you know that today's topic is surrounded or supported. Surrounded or supported. I want to start by saying just because people have access to you, it doesn't mean that they are assigned to you. Proximity does not mean partnership. It does not mean partnership. To be surrounded, and I want you to get this, but to be surrounded means to have people, objects, or conditions, positioned on every side of you. So, in other words, enclosed, encompassed, surrounded. Maybe like a border. It means to be surrounded, right? To be supported, and y'all know I love definitions, so that I gotta give it to you, right? To be supported means to be physically held up, given financial or emotional help. Hear me? Or proven true by facts and evidence. So, in other words, you have backing, you have assistance, you are being helped, you are being sustained. That's what it means to be. That's what it means to be supported. I feel that this is the area in life that we don't really like to talk about, and it is the part of the relationships that people really shy away from, because sometimes the problem isn't that you are alone. Sometimes the problem isn't that, you don't have a ton of people around you, or a million armor bearers, or a million members, or a million, followers, or a million fans. No, the problem is not always the quantity, but sometimes you are surrounded by people who do not actually support you. And I don't want you to take this as some carnal statement, but I want you to hear the depths of being surrounded versus being supported. It can be difficult to admit that, I'm not supported, or you're not supported, or she's not supported, or he's not supported, because we naturally associate presence. We naturally associate quantity with love, with access, with loyalty, with familiarity, and with trust. But just because somebody has access to you, it doesn't mean that they have your best interests at heart. Just because somebody knows you doesn't mean they know how to support you. And I think one of the most important distinctions that we need to make in this conversation is the difference between proximity and partnership. Proximity is the state, and we gave, surrounded, supported. Same difference. Proximity is the state of being physically, emotionally, socially, or relationally near or close to someone or something. It describes a closeness. It describes a nearness. So I want to say that there are groups of people that, are close. They are near. You are with them every day or a few times a week. This person can be a family member. This person can be a co-worker. And there is a level of proximity that we equate with partnership. And it isn't always true. Because I can be in proximity, or someone can be in proximity to you and not have your best interests at heart. Closeness or nearness, it doesn't necessarily imply trust or love or loyalty or commitment or, being of like mind. It just speaks to a geographical location. On the other hand, partnership is a relationship where two or more people intentionally, deliberately work together toward a shared purpose, goal, responsibility, or outcome. Partnership, and I want you to hear me good, partnership implies commitment, participation, and investment, a mutual contribution. So I remember I have this friend who said, listen, if you can't reciprocate, we can't do this. We're honest. I mean, let's just be honest. Who really wants to be in a one-sided relationship? Has this ever happened to you? Maybe you just started dating someone, or maybe you just, I think I saw a TikTok about this recently, but maybe, you had this relationship, and, every time you all would go out, you paying for the food. You drive, you use your car. Every time you pick the place. Every time you're the one to start the conversation and keep the conversation going. And the moment maybe, let's say, you can't do, or you just choose not to do, you home, because they're not picking you up in their car. They're not buying you no lunch. They're not doing anything for you. And I'm not talking about, there are some people in our lives, or even there are some people in my life, that I can't reciprocate on the same level that they pour into me. However, there are other ways that you can, bring value to that relationship. Yours may not be financially, yours may be, spiritually, or, keeping that person in prayer, or constantly, encouraging, or, whatever it is, or just being a good friend, a confidant, right? But you could imagine 9 times out of 10, you footing the bill, you keeping the conversation, you encouraging, you saying, man, listen, go to school, go and do this, or open this business, or do that, and you helping them with everything. And the moment you cannot, or you find yourself in a lower state, however, life happens, bush crack, man gone. You know why? Because you associated nearness or closeness or proximity with partnership. Partnership says, I am invested in your destiny. I am invested in your future. I am invested in your vision. I want to show up and participate in your life in a way that can be beneficial, not only to me, but to you. And we talk about, investments, and, people like, investing in real estate and investing in certain companies. But could you invest in your friend? Could you invest in someone, not just being in close proximity? And don't forget, we talk about the basketball game. You watching this person shoot a bunch of 3-pointers, bunch of half court, they dunking, they slamming the ball in the dunk, right? In the net, right? But every time you show up to the game, you only want to eat snacks. You only want to watch. You wouldn't even bring a towel. All right. Simply put, proximity says, I am near you, right? Partnership says, I am with you and I'm invested. Hey, baby. Lord, my husband on TikTok, get them. So you come here to distract me, right? So proximity says, I'm near you. Partnership says, I am with you and I'm invested in what you are building. And if that means that I'm going to go on TikTok and like your video and share your video, I'm going to do that, because that's what partnership is, right? You saw what I did there? All right, thanks. Proximity is about position, right? Hey, Joseph. Monique said, you all up in my business with this topic today, right? Proximity is about position. I talked about it, geographical location, a place, right? Partnership is about participation. Thank you so much. She said, doing good. Oh God, I'm blushing. Lord, you come here to distract me. Oh Lord Jesus, we're the saints. Oh God, right? Proximity gives access. Partnership gives investment. So when I come into partnership or into agreement with you, it means that I am now investing in who you are. I'm investing in who you will become. Somebody can have, or people, however you want to term it, I want you to think about areas of your life that you have a lot of people around you, and I've heard this before, many times before, that people, will have thousands of fans, millions of followers, entourage, elite armor bearer squad, and yet they still feel alone. And it simply means that you are equating numbers with value, or numbers or proximity with partnership. Thank you so much, Monique. Right? You are equating the number of people that show up on your TikTok, the number of people that show up on your Facebook, the number of people that like your photo, that share your photo. You are equating that with actual support. But when it comes time to pour into, or even to critique, listen, I have a friend, and listen, anytime you see me need to shift, like we is go at it. No, you this, that, boom, fix this, fix that. Hey, boom. Hey, I was thinking about this. Hey, I was just right there thinking about you, and I feel like you need to boom, boom, boom. And likewise, listen, I had a dream about you, and I don't know what's going to happen, but this is boom, 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 boom. You should start pursuing this. You should get into this, or you should boom, 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 boom. And it's reciprocated, and it isn't reciprocated because I don't want you to say that I didn't pour into you, but out of the goodness of our hearts, we pour into each other. So I want to ask you this question. How many people around you right now are invested in your future? I'll wait. How many people around you now the Bible talks about, like, you know a man by through the Spirit. You know that you learn them through the Spirit. How many people around you know you beyond your current state right now? I remember this same friend. Listen, I was extremely exhausted, and I wanted to stop doing a particular thing. And I said, man, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to take a break. I need to relax. And she was like, no. And mind you, I burning out on two ends, tired. When I say tired, I was tired for true. And she said to me, no. You know why? You know why? You forget the vision you have, eh? You forget that this for a goal, eh? This is how we talk to each other. Hello? Wake up. I don't know what you think you could do, but you won't self-sabotage on my watch. And mind you, I was considering giving up near the end. And she said, but you only want, once you make it through this, you can make it through this. Once you make it through that, and you can do that. And this happened years ago. Years later, and we had this conversation recently, and I say, girl, do you remember when I wanted to quit? And you convinced me to keep going. And honestly, I'm saying it now, and it almost wants to bring tears to my eyes, because there are many of you listening today. You are surrounded, but you are not supported. Anyone agreeing with your sabotage, anyone agreeing with your carnality, anyone agreeing with your flesh is not a friend. Miss Portia say, let me tell you something. You're getting on my nerves. That's an op. So you in the game, and they just there for the snacks. They just there for the show. They just there to say they have, what is it? Courtside? I have that right? Courtside seats? I know basketball, girly. Pray my strength. You just want free ticket. Nelly say, good Lord, not you talking my business again, though. You really want to conk. That's what you want. I listen. I serious, you know. I tell y'all, let's be laughing, but let's be dead serious. You want courtside seats. You want front row to my life. You want front row to family. You want front row to business. You know that friend that can't wait till you open the business to get free things. You want front row without partnership. You never invest. I had a question for my nail tech, and anybody knows me, I can't switch up on my girl, right? I can't switch up, right? And before I went to her, I had someone else for a few years, however, but I started to ask her a question. I said, like most of your supporters, where do they come from? And she said, total strangers. She said, people would just see me on TikTok. People would just see me on social media. To the point now where she doesn't even have to advertise. You know why? Because her support came from somewhere else. You know what's really stopping most persons? And I'm going to help you out with this. That same familiarity. It truly breeds contempt. And I'm not saying that just because, oh my God, you're so wonderful and, you're the ninth wonder. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking, just trying to boost you. I'm not talking about that. But what I am saying is your support will come from the most strange places. And if you are someone who is locked into only those who are in close proximity, you will never ascend. Everybody who is close to you isn't necessarily connected to you. And everybody connected to you isn't necessarily committed to you. Ask Judas, proximity, not partnership. Somebody being there does not mean they're building with you. Somebody attending your event or assisting in your assignment doesn't mean that they are quote unquote assigned to you. Somebody liking your posts doesn't mean that they share in your purpose. And see, I feel that, especially for the age that we live in where everything is about social media and everything is about how things look and how many persons like and the thousands of views and the thousands of likes and the thousands of shares and the reach and the this and the that. No, partnership is investment. Are you invested in me? If you see me going left, if you see me, talking crazy, do you love me enough to say, listen, Monique, McSweeney, no, you can't do that. I want to explain this to you right here. There are people in your life, and I'm going to identify them. I'm going to help you out. They want to pull instead of partner. And this person is identified as a leech. I don't want you to just identify it, but I want you to examine the pattern. A leech, y'all know I love definitions. Let's go. A leech is an organism. That attack. That's a preaching spirit right there. When Noam Bishop say, read. That's how I feel just now. Read. Let's try it again. A leech is an organism that attaches itself to another organism, right? And draws nourishment from it. That's why you always so tired. That's why you always feel, discombobulated, despondent, because you have another organism attaching itself to you that is drawing out nourishment. Hey, Terrell. Let's deal with the leeches. That's the difference between being surrounded versus being supported. Because when there is support, man, listen, let me show you. If y'all don't believe me, I have to go back to this definition. Supported means to be held up, to be given. Oh God, I have to read it to you. To be given financial or emotional help. In other words, it is resources, emotional strength. You are assisted. You are sponsored. You are backed. So when you're dealing with this leech spirit, I'm going to say spirit, y'all know. When you're dealing with this leech, it is an organism that pulls from your essence. It pulls from your anointing. It pulls from your grace, and it sucks out every ounce of nourishment. And that leech will leave fat while you are skinny. It sucks the life. It sucks the energy. You ever realize when you get around someone, or you get in certain environments, you just lose strength? Your head start hurting. You start feeling weak. Every minute you need a vitamin, you need energy all day. You trying to figure out why you can't lift off, because you dealing with numbers, but you ain't really dealing with partners. You have, listen, and this is something I didn't say I got to work on. My Facebook has, you can't accept friend requests and stuff anymore. Too full. When I say too full. And I know how to fix it to do nothing else. So I say, God, help me out. Right? But I have enough wisdom to know everyone watching, I don't know who this for today. Don't mind the numbers. Everyone watching is not watching to invest. They're not watching to partner. They're watching to suck. Leech. Therese says, spirit backs. My God, this is true. Your spirit all cross up, tangle up. You all tangle up and you got no energy. Abria, stay out of my notes, please, because that's my next point. They will watch you to pieces. When I talked about yesterday, CID, DEA, FBI, CDU, monitor your every move. And I'm not talking about, you posting things and, people are not interested in it. I'm talking about, you interested, hon, sir, ma'am? You are interested. You blind them, Jesus and the Holy Ghost. Oh God. It's real. Monique said they watch it. Listen, no, they watching you. They watching you like a hawk. And I don't want you to get me wrong. There are times in life we need help. I'm not talking about when people need help and when they're just trying to get on their feet and they just try to find themselves. And, I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about when you literally attach yourself to a living, you were once dying, a living organism, and you suck the life out of them. See, y'all playing crazy like. Y'all see the Bahamian spirit? Spirit. Seriously. I'm not talking about mentorship. I'm not talking about, making connections to, better yourself and better opportunities. I'm not talking about that. We all need each other. We all need people. The problem is when receiving becomes your relational identity. I'm going to help you. When you're always taking but never contributing. I remember there was a lady that I met, and she's like, "Oh, these people, oh, they just like ambulance. All they want." I never forget it. You always want. This is the pattern that I need you to recognize in your life. Let me help you. And mind you, I have to be fair. There may be someone watching today. Maybe you are not experiencing someone being a leech to you, but maybe you've become a leech. You know you only connect to that person because you feel like they're going somewhere. They have connection, so you want proximity. They have influence, so you want access. They have platform, so they creative, so you want, okay. They are confident, so you want to absorb that confidence. They're spiritually mature, so you constantly want to be around them and hear the revelation of God. Give them without taking accountability for knowing God yourself. They have resources, so you constantly look for them to provide. See, I cannot be one-sided, because I don't want you to think that people are just attaching themselves to you. But you are attaching yourself to people. You know what we call that? An opportunist. You only show up when free things given out. You only show up when you only could support your friend business when she or he having a sale. You never want to buy nothing full price. You want to sit in the ministry, don't contribute nothing to the ministry. Let's go there. Oh, I believe in You are a leech. And I know it's a tough pill to swallow, and I'm going to hold your hand while I'm saying it, but you know that you really just got connected to people because you want the access that they have. Let me get around her. Let me get around him. Let me get in certain environments so that I can be seen. He that is greatest among you, let him first become what? A servant. Terrell, say y'all share this broadcast with somebody that is today. Listen, shifters, I already tell y'all. I want to ask you this question. If you are not a leech, what is your contribution? How have you helped someone else's life to become better? And I'm not talking about, when they make you mad, you go down the long list of things that you did for them. No. How were you helpful? What are your contributions? Now you got to pay NIB. Let's see the contributions. Ms. Portia says, the ministry nourishing you, but you think the reward is due to an elder is too much. It's too much. It's too much. You watch Pastor sweat, you watch Bishop come with 1,000 notes, and you wouldn't say, great God, let me buy you a drink. You look thirsty. Let me bring you a towel. But who you ever see those people who don't bring no food to the potluck? But you told them, oh God, you hiding a whole case of soda in your back trunk. You going in the people's kitchen asking for the foil. That's what we look like when we are leeches. As Portia say, there's monitor, not all monitors. Leaving with 5 plates, Shanti say. Who could beat you? When the toters come to you, okay. It was a prophetic release. The toters come. The leeches suck the nourishment. What are you bringing to the table? What are you contributing? How are you causing this to develop, this to grow? What are you building? What are you becoming? And this is where it becomes dangerous because people, and and I want you to think about, I don't want you to think about this in a carnal sense, but I want you to even look in the areas of your life where people will start to absorb your identity, absorb your purpose, absorb your calling, absorb your anointing. And sometimes, and what makes it even more dangerous, sometimes they don't even want it for themselves, They just don't want you to have it. You look like you have enough. Give somebody else a chance. I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you you had enough. How you know what is enough for me? Y'all all right though? Okay. Holy Ghost, what is this today? They don't just want what you have. They want to become what you are. Taking on your language, taking on your aura, taking on your ideas, taking on, the way you pursue the presence of God. And I'm not saying that you cannot be an inspiration. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is what you bring into the table. Bishop, Lord, what is this today? They are wondering how they can become more like you. That's what a leech does. How can I make him look bad? How can I get the boss to really just not see him anymore? And I'm reminded, and I think I've shared this story here before, when we consider the story with Mephibosheth, right? And he's in Lodabar. He's in a dry place, right? A place of no pasture. And, the king calls for him. Is there anyone left of Saul's house that I can show kindness to? And, Ziba comes and Ziba relays the message. And, he sabotages Mephibosheth, constantly with the king. Doesn't want him at the king's table, leave him when they go out to fight for war and all of these other things. And Mephibosheth say, something? If you want it, have it. That's all the enemy wants you to do. Give up. See, because he know what you carry. He can't just rush upon you and take that like that. You have to sign that over. So his key is, let me worry you. Let me monitor you. Let me discourage you. Let me suck life and nourishment from you. Mephibosheth say, something? Have it. I done? Don't think I's all of that. He said, what does the king want to do with a dead dog like me? You all right though? How Lodabar mess you up? And if you are honest, someone dropped you and it altered the way you see yourself. You don't feel like you deserve more. You don't feel like you could do more. You don't feel like you're called to inspire. You don't feel like you're called to shift or called to help or called to invest. But because of, in our purity, in our haste, the nurse dropped him and made him cripple. Who dropped you? How has that affected you and the way you deal with people? I'm just saying, are you surrounded or are you supported? See, I'm not concerned about numbers and crowds and people. Because majority, don't always be right. But am I supported in a way that every time I get in your presence or you get in my presence, we are able to build one another. We are able to invest in one another, reciprocate. I want you to think about that friend business that you never invested in. I want you to think about how your friend always have to give you a discount. I mean, everybody love a good discount. I'm not, don't get me wrong, but every time, that's all you're looking for. Every time we go out, I foot the bill. Every time the manager takes vacation, it's me one left with all of the work. Every time. It's so much more we can cover, and our time is almost come and gone. But I want to get this to you. I want you to ask yourself these questions. Am I connected because I want to contribute, or I am connected because I want to consume? That is what separates the wheat from the tare. They all look alike. But when harvest comes, we'll see. The Bible says, let the wheat and the tare, let them grow together. So support and surrounded people, they look the same, but they're different. They're different. Am I building relationships or am I building access? Okay. I want to get this to you. Yesterday we talked about what up? Yes, Monique. Yesterday we talked about discernment. Trusting your gut. Trusting what, that instinct, and how it could be the Holy Ghost leading you, right? And a part of that, we added on discernment. Discernment matters in telling who is supporting versus who is surrounding. Discernment matters because this will cause you to govern yourself accordingly. You govern yourself by not oversharing. Let me help you. Oversharing is sharing more personal information than is appropriate for the situation, audience, or level of trust, right? It isn't inherently bad, but it's too much when we use it in this context. You are sharing too much. You are saying too much. So, for example, that's like telling your coworker just a bunch of intimate details. Good day, Prophet Julian. God bless you. Greetings. Posting, family conflicts on social media, revealing someone's personal information. But when we start to deal with oversharing, and this is, I think that says Edwin, God bless you, right? When we are dealing with this oversharing, hey Joshua, glad to see you. Hey Kizzy. When we're dealing with this oversharing, it simply means you are now disclosing too much information. And because you haven't separated, for lack of a better term, the wheat from the tare, the support from the surrounders, you are now oversharing and you are giving access or the blueprint to destroy you. Yes, I said it. So, Terrell, you're right. Good day, Bishop Ridgely. Right? The minute, and this is where it gets dangerous, right? Because I think that we live in a culture where when we don't overshare, it's like, how dare you not give me intimate details about your life and I'm a stranger. So that's like you ain't see your schoolmate from a long time and y'all end up bucking in the gas station. Hey, so you all dressed up, where you headed? Oh, hey Darius, how you doing, Pastor? Right? Oh, where you headed? Oh, you dress up, eh? or you just come from an interview. How is? But because we want to please people and because we so frenzy, we just, I just had an interview down by, oh yeah, I just come off one. Or you see someone in the airport, you asking them why? Because they said Jesus nice and dumb, right? You start to overshare. And let me tell you how you know you overshare, because immediately after you say it, you feel like, I shouldn't say that. You start regretting it immediately. I shouldn't. Oh. You have to know, and you know, and it happens to the best of us. Because I see someone commenting saying, guilty as well. I had to learn, listen, hi, take it down a notch. Take it down a notch. And it's not you being weird, it's not you being closed off, it's not you being stuck up. It's just you using discernment. Because yes, you may be surrounded or in proximity. Don't forget, we talked about the definition of proximity: nearness, closeness, geographical location. So just because you are near me doesn't mean you get to see. You do not let someone in your house and automatically take them to your bedroom. You may get the porch. And if you have, you got press button and do, you at the road. God forbid you show up unannounced. You are not going to let a stranger in your bedroom in the same way you are oversharing. Wisdom, and we talked about this yesterday, wisdom is the knowledge applied. It is knowledge applied. The Bible says, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives unto us what? Liberally. My people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. You don't have the information, nor if you had the information, knew how to apply it. You know something? Jesus be a fence. We need to learn discretion. Discretion means having good judgment about what to say and what not to say, and what to do and what not to do, and when to share and who to share it with discerning the supporters or discerning those who are surrounding. So the reason that many of us are hindered, the reason many of us are blocked up, it ain't no Prince of Persia holding you up, it's your mouth. You overshare everything you want to post on Facebook. You get your business license and you want to post everything. You graduate, you can't wait to post it. You just start the class, you taking picture of you in the classroom. You traveling, you ain't even on the plane good yet. You done got the passport and the boarding pass. I can't scream. You got the boarding pass and your Bahamian passport. Post up. You know why? Because you like overshare. Discretion. And this is what leads me to my last point. And Terrell said, listen, woman of God, you need more time. This is my last point to you. Shorty say too fast. You ain't even get to the ticket counter good. You taking picture of all your luggage. Nelly, and that is my next point. You give the monitoring spirits nothing to do. They don't have to monitor you because we just gotta wait for you to post it. No? You just gotta just see you somewhere and you just spill. Y'all know, like, and I don't know. I feel like it's just, and I have nothing against old people. I like old people, right? But, like my Grammy them, they'd just be like, yeah, child, well, think I'm Tony down the road. he just get a good decent job down by and they never could remember, so they got to think about it. Down by Tingham them shop up the road. Mind you, this is the person just come to bring water. But they got to tell your whole life story. Discretion means having good judgment about what to say, what not to say, what to share, when to share it, who to share it with. Some things should remain private. So when we deal with, oh God, Ms. Portia says, entertaining the monitoring spirits. Anointed but ignorant Monique Maud Brown says, oh my goodness. Everything you want, dog. That's right, Pastor Darius. The enemy is not omnipresent. He cannot be everywhere at once. So what he does is he employs agents in the earth to monitor you, to monitor your progress. And I'm not talking about, you looking at someone and being inspired by them and, liking their posts and things like that. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about a real devil that's on your real trail to destroy your real destiny, your real purpose, that wants to take your life, be it natural or spiritual, prematurely. And because we have created and developed this culture of oversharing, and this culture where we lack discretion, and this culture where we don't know how to use tact, and this culture where we just want to overshare and we want to people please. We equate numbers, quantity with quality. I want to end today's show by saying to you, anyone in your life that is not pushing for the best version of you. And I'm not talking about, I know we cannot all reciprocate on the same level. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about that person that will believe in you, that person that will pour into you, that person that will rebuke you to pieces. Man, listen, I just had a conversation with one of my good friends. And when I say he rebuked me to pieces, hi, mom, get it together. Okay, no problem. Getting it together. You don't need someone who is impressed by you. You don't need someone who is a fan. They bubbling over you every time they see you. Oh my God, you just and you're never corrected. You're never chastened. Whom the Lord loves. Oh, it ain't my word. He chastens. Because he says, we know exactly against us. There's a gut feeling. This is what we spoke about yesterday. That gut feeling. Listen, I want to say to you, ask yourself, and I want you to evaluate every area of your life. Am I surrounded or am I supported? And I'm not talking about someone stroking your ego and just telling you so wonderful and, one of the angels must be missing from heaven because you down here. No. I'm talking about that person that will partner with what heaven has spoken over you. Today, I want you that even maybe you may say, something, Joinae, I'm dealing with this leech, I'm dealing with certain stuff. Or you may say, Joinae, something, I've identified some areas that I have been a leech and I need to invest more. I need to pour more. I need to do. Let this be your wake-up call. Any situation you find yourself in, is this me just wanting to consume, or is this me willing to contribute? That's it for today's show. Discretion is not about secrecy. It's not, about being weird, but it's simply about having a boundary, right? You aren't hiding. You are stewarding what God has placed on the inside of you. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Please be reminded, we are live every Monday through Friday, same time, same place, favorite station with your favorite person right here on Glory FM. Good afternoon to all those on TikTok, Facebook, of course, our worldwide listeners, and of course, all those tuned in via Glory 93.9 FM. This is The Shift with Joinae Gibson, and I pray you do enjoy the rest of your day. Keep it locked. Hey, Shaquinda. Keep it locked and always loaded. This is Surrounded by Bethel Music.